Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney and Tom are off today. Breaking news in the last hour, the U.S. House voted to approve an increase in stimulus payments from $600 to $2,000. This after President Trump finally signed the COVID relief bill into law. The president's sudden shift on the bill brings relief to many financially strapped Americans, but his delay resulted in a one-week lapse in unemployment benefits for more than 14 million recipients. The bill now heads to the Republican-controlled Senate for consideration.
Today, I am telling Donald Trump, don't just talk about it, act. These Senate Republicans have followed you through thick and thin. Get them now to act and support the $2,000 checks.
Why would we be sending $2,000 to people with a six-figure income who've had no suspension, no reduction of their income at all?
House lawmakers are also preparing to vote to override the president's veto of the critical defense bill that funds the U.S. military. The Senate is expected to hold a veto override vote tomorrow as well. As for that relief deal, many are wondering when they might see those stimulus checks hit their bank accounts. There's no set date yet, but Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin suggested it may only take a week or so for money to start going out after the president signed off. Well, people here in Washington have been watching that drama play out in D.C. The good news, Governor Jay Inslee says anyone with an active PUA or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance claim for the week of November 21st will still get the money. But because the president delayed the signature, the state will now need to scramble to get crucial programs running. Governor Inslee tweeted, quote, "Good news, the president has signed the relief bill, but his delayed action cost Washingtonians a week of PUA benefits." Inslee announced the state will provide relief to about 95,000 Washington residents until the federal relief kicks in. And if you'd like the latest news on stimulus payments, Washington's relief payments, or information on unemployment, just text us the word money to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information your way. Now to local coronavirus headlines. The Spokane Regional Health District reporting 147 new cases today. That brings the total number of cases to more than 25,000 in the county. 2 new deaths were reported today. So far, 355 people have died in Spokane County since the pandemic began. Today, hospital leaders are reporting a record of 232 patients hospitalized for COVID-19 in the Spokane metro area. That number does include Coeur d'Alene. During a press conference today, Sacred Heart's chief nursing officer is warning about the post-holiday surge of cases and how that will impact hospitals and staff.
I think January is going to be a very difficult month, and we're all going to need to pull together to be able to take care of the patients who got sick before there was a vaccine.
She says about 2,000 caregivers within Providence received the vaccine, but she says they still have a long ways to go. Residents at long-term care facilities in Washington will start getting their first dose of the COVID vaccine today. Nicole Hernandez has more now on how many vaccines the state has right now and who is getting the vaccine this week.
Yeah, so this past week, the Washington State Department of Health gave out 20,000 vaccines specifically for long-term care facilities, and those vaccines are going to start being administered today. I want to give you a look at exactly what numbers of vaccines we have here in the state. First off, this past week, there were a total of 172,750 vaccines given out across the state. Of those, 44,000 were Pfizer and 128,000 were Moderna vaccines. Of those that were distributed, a total of 30,000 vaccines were actually administered. Those were to healthcare workers in our state. And then this week, Washington will get another 101,000 vaccines. Of those, 57,000 will be Pfizer vaccines and 44,000 will be Moderna. Washington was expecting to have even more vaccines by now, but the state said less got delivered. Some of the Pfizer vaccines that we were supposed to get are going through one last quality control process. The state says, though, that by the beginning of next year, we will have a steady flow of vaccines to the state. And the federal government says that as months go by, we'll see more and more vaccines go out every month. In Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
All right, let's switch gears, talk weather for a moment. While we still have snow on the ground from Christmas Day, it looks like another round of snow, maybe some rain as well, will be moving in before the new year. Let's get to meteorologist Michelle Boss. She is broadcasting from home this evening. And Michelle, how soon could we be seeing more snow here in Spokane?
Well, besides some of the flurries we might see tomorrow, which won't really amount to much, the main event should be getting started in the Cascades by Tuesday night and be working its way into eastern Washington by Wednesday morning. I really wanted to give you some snow amounts for this upcoming storm, but I just don't think it's a good idea right now, other than to say that there is expected to be heavy snow in the Cascades Wednesday through Thursday. Winter storm watches are posted for those locations, and we do have the potential for some moderate snow here in the Spokane area. The reason why I don't want to put down amounts, the models have said anything from 1 to 3 inches to as much as 7 inches, and those numbers are going to continue to waffle, so may wait until tonight or maybe even tomorrow before we really start to nail down how much snow it could put down in the Spokane area. One thing we have to deal with, though, in the short term, though, is the fog and low clouds. Really wanted to try to get a little bit of sunshine today. I think Deer Park maybe got an hour of some clearing skies. Out across the Silver Valley, they were doing pretty well, but through the Palouse, Spokane area, Moses Lake, even the areas that didn't see the fog saw the low clouds, and so it was a pretty gloomy day out there, and gloomy conditions are going to continue through tonight and tomorrow. Cold day as well without any sun, only 27 in Spokane. I don't think we got much warmer this afternoon. 29 in Coeur d'Alene, just below freezing in Moses Lake, and even Lewiston I don't think made it above freezing this afternoon. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. We're going to keep those clouds around with some patchy freezing fog, temperatures down into the 20s, and a cold day tomorrow, 28 degrees. Wednesday, snow moving in, could see some rain mixing in by Thursday or Wednesday afternoon, and that's going to affect potential snow amounts, highs in the mid-30s, and it looks like a chance of a little bit of morning snow for your New Year's Eve with highs in the mid-30s.
All right, Michelle, we'll talk to you more about that a little bit later in the broadcast. Well, no doubt about it, it has been a devastating year for many businesses, especially restaurants. Unable to make a profit, one restaurant owner says he'll adapt to better serve the community. Our Morgan Trow explains tonight.
Fine dining is an experience. Getting it to go does not have that same effect.
It's just a shame. Like it's just a shame that we're shut down and there's nothing else we can do.
The Wandering Table is a high-end, small plate style restaurant, but without the scenery, ambiance, and presentation, General Manager Paul DeRozzi says they could not afford to stay open.
It does not translate well to to-go meals, and it does not translate well at half capacity.
The restaurant has announced they will be closing permanently, but this is not the end for the Eat Good group or their downtown location.
We would like to rebrand, and Chef Adam's coming up with some menu ideas and stuff right now, with some different concepts that will be more unique and more casual.
Cindy Wendell with Spokane County says businesses must adapt to consumers' budgets or they will not make it through the coming year.
But when we go into 2021 and people's personal budgets are going to change, there's going to be choices that people make, how they engage in the economy. We will not have the disposable income that we did. Most of us will not be able to do the types of things that we enjoyed in 2019, as far as going out to restaurants.
Just disheartening, and we just feel we need to pivot to make it work.
They will officially close on January 9th. Their next project will be announced in the coming months. Reporting in Spokane, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
And new at 4 today, more bad news for our culinary community. Central Foods and Kendall Yards announced it is closing permanently today, but not because of the pandemic, they said. Owner David Blaine posted on the restaurant's Facebook page saying it is time for him to do new things. In the post, he thanked everyone from the workers to the Spokane restaurant community for the restaurant's success over the last decade. We wish him well.